What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Heart of the City 132. And tonight, man, we're going to be getting into a lot, man. We got to talk baseball. These baseball teams are struggling. It is a baseball crisis in New York right now. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into a little summer league action, man. Summer league action. Knicks and Mets actually scoring off in the summer league coming up here Friday. So we're going to get into some summer league action and training camp. Football is a few weeks away, so we ain't got to wait too much longer. We definitely going to get into that. All that much more. I'm your host on Popular Opinion Sports with my host, Coach Ed Gladney, and we are the dynamic dude bringing you Heart of the City. So please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. But before we do so, Coach, man, how you feeling tonight? Chat, how y'all feeling tonight?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm Gucci as always, man. Just out here grinding, doing things that trying to get better step by step, whether it's mentally, physically, socially, whatever it needs to be done. I'm just trying to get better as a human being. So that's it. How about you? How you doing, bro?
I'm maintaining, man, like you said, in the midst of the grind, the dog days of summer, as they say, so, but we're going to get through this, man, and we're going to see y'all on the other end, man. This is Heart of the City. So, like I said, please hit that like, subscribe, and we're coming right back. Let's get it.
Ricey K, the Raisin Man.
All right, man. So we are back, man. Again, please hit that like, subscribe, and we're gonna get right into it here in a second. Daniel Brave Sports, what's good with you, man? How you feeling tonight, man? Appreciate you tapping in.
Good, DBS. Always there.
Yeah, man. But we got some things to get into. We're gonna go a little around the city. And definitely, we're going to tap in around the city and walk these blocks and see what is going on out here. Because, again, like I said, it's a lot brewing in the city. You got the baseball teams, man, just stinking it up. Yankees, Mets. I don't know right now who's playing worse. Nets got some hope, Coach. This kid looking decent, man. We're going to get into that, man. And also Jets, Giants training camp. So let's do it, man. Let's hit the block. Let's do a little around the city and coming right back with it.
I want the power, but I want the level of respect first. Said I want the power, but I want the level of respect first. Yeah, I want the power, but I want the level of respect first. Yeah, I want the power, the level of respect first.
All right, let's get right into it here. We are going to start off here with the New York Yankees, and I mean, it has been a, a little, a little, a little rough, is putting it nicely.
New York Yankees.
All right, Yankees lose again. 3-0 to the Tampa Bay Rays, and it's been pretty rough, man. Garrett Cole, man, giving up 3 earned runs, did strike out 6, but the Yanks just getting nothing out there as far as offense. 6 hits, no runs. It's been a struggle. Without Aaron Judge, it has been a struggle for this ball club. So they got to make some changes, and they got some things that they got to do. And we're going to be looking at some trades and some possibilities for this Yankees team here in a second, man. So y'all stay tuned and lock in, man. But let's go over and see what the Mets are doing.
New York Mets.
So Mets actually winning right now, 6-1 over the Kansas City Royals, who are just as bad as the Mets. They actually have the exact same record. So hopefully the Mets can get it done here. Bottom of the 8th, 2 outs. So we'll see if the Mets can finally get something cracking here, because it's been bad for them too. Of course, you know, they had recently fired their manager. So yeah, it's not been good over there. But we are moving on, and let's go to let's go to the New York Giants here.
New York Giants.
All right, so the Giants, you know, they doing these ESPN polls and different things like that. So ESPN has ranked the Giants starting lineup 23rd out of 32 teams. A season ago, they ranked them 27th. So a little bit better, according to ESPN, but still pretty low. So the New York Giants have got to get out of that being one of the bottom teams in the NFL, and there is hope that this is their year, that the Giants can finally get their shit together as we approach training camp. Let's go to the Jets. See what they got going on.
New York Jets.
Jets GM Daryl Moogie? But have a clear vision of what's ahead. So the Jets in this article right here, it says they're confident. This Jets team is confident going into camp, and I mean, we'll see how it turns out. But because, you know, we've been fooled before. Teams, but anyway, let's go and let's get into some basketball. We're gonna hit the Knicks up real quick.
New York Knicks.
So the Knicks shutting down the LeBron thing, the LeBron James so-called chase, as they say. Knicks not getting in that. and I think that is the right move. We're gonna talk to Coach here in a little bit about it, but I think that is the right move about not getting involved in LeBron, the LeBron chase, as they say, because what are they going to do with LeBron James after just winning the championship with the roster that they had? Need to take care of your own guys, and I think that's the best thing that the Knicks can do. So, but let's go. We're gonna get to the Nets real quick. Let me get some. Give me 1 second. Bring up something. All right, so let's get to the Nets real quick.
Brooklyn Nets.
So what the Nets is about, Mikal Brown Jr., their rookie guard, drafted, and he looked pretty good. He flashed as the Nets beat the Warriors in the Cali Classic finale. They'll be going on to Vegas, man, to continue summer league play. But Mikal Brown Jr. looking pretty good, and the Nets are going to need that guard play along with Yegor Doman, also looking pretty good out there with the Nets. But we're going to talk more about that here coming up. Let's see what these hockey teams are up to.
NHL.
All right. Devils re-signed their goaltender Jacob Malik to a 2-year contract. Two-way deal worth $850,000 at the NHL level and $175,000 at the American Hockey League level. So, little two-way contract for a goaltender for the Devils here. And for the Rangers, make a draft day trade. Don't ask me to pronounce these hockey names, people. Pavel Dorofeyev in a draft day trade with the Vegas Golden Knights. There is much debate and speculation about who his new line mates will be on Broadway because, of course, as I've been talking about, the Rangers been shopping Trocheck and some other cats on their squad. So, and for the Islanders, they're still retooling their squad. They've been very busy this offseason with the NHL draft and free agency, but still they might be doing a little bit of a retool as they start to plan for the future. Islanders making some moves here, but not a lot. They did sign a 3-year deal with Matthew Schaefer, I believe it is. So maybe they'll make some more moves. If they do, we'll keep you posted as best we can. And that is going to be Around the City, man. Y'all hit that like, subscribe button. Appreciate you, man. Let's get back to it.
I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Said I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, the love and respect first.
All right, Coach, man. You got any thoughts on what I said in Around the City, man, before we get to our main topics for the night?
I mean, the biggest concern right now, of course, as a Yankee fan, Matter of fact, shout out to Philly halftime today. Tapped into his stream a little bit about with the Phillies today, and he asked me, he's like, "Did I hear the rumor that um, Philly and New York are in discussions about taking I believe it's Turner
Mhm.
with his contract, because halftime was like, if you can get rid of that contract, he loves it. I believe it's Turner. I might be wrong, but I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't know if you did. But yeah, they need, with the injuries to the outfield. I mean, it seems like everyone in the outfield is hurt. Everyone. And then you have no hitting behind that. Jazz Chisholm, with the lollipop, and now he's out with a toe injury. It's like, I mean, you have nothing on this roster. Nothing. So what is Cashman going to do? What is Steinbrenner going to allow him to do? Because, you bring someone on with a high salary, when the other guys come back, now you're going to have an absorbent roster in terms of salary, which, he's been preaching. He doesn't want a high salary, roster, so on and so forth. So that's the thing that I'm intrigued by. I'm wondering, you know, um, that was the biggest thing, overall. The Giants rankings, I get it. I don't, yeah, as a fan, I don't like it, but we have higher expectations. But I get the general consensus around the country and you know, ESPN, the almighty ESPN. Yeah, I get it. And look, they're to be honest with you, we do that a lot of times. They're taking a wait and see approach, so
Mhm.
which I understand that logically. I really do. There's not to me, there's nothing wrong with it. So, and as far as your Nets, I am intrigued with your, with the backcourt, which you guys are, because I heard about Acuff and a couple people
Mhm.
told me, "Oh, he's a bust already." I'm like, "Come on, man! It's summer league. Get out of here
Nah,
with that BS."
yeah.
So, but um, I forget his name. The guy you just drafted.
Cal
He's
Brown.
yeah, he's supposedly he's shown that he's going to be a good player. So still a young team, but if he can mesh with the vets that you have, and I've told several people, look, I'm not saying you're going to be competing for a championship, but you know what? It wouldn't surprise me, if you're on the back end trying to compete for a plan, which is, what you have to do now with the new rules. So, but and also the whole East is going to be tough. The whole East. And, I've also said the Atlantic Division right now is the toughest division in all of basketball, and don't take my
Mhm.
word for it. Go do your research, look at all the teams. And, it's going to be tough for the Knicks. It's going to be tough for the Nets, but iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, man. Iron sharpens iron. You right, coach. And I do want to talk a little bit about the Nets.
Hmm.
I was on Breezy's my
Hmm.
man Big
Hmm.
Fan Breezy's podcast the other night. Shout out to him. Y'all go subscribe to Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog if you are a Nets fan. And they talk basketball over there too in general. So excellent podcast. Go check it out. Um, I'm over there, a lot of times, sometimes listening, sometimes I go on a panel, but there's a lot of excitement about Mikal Brown Jr. And rightfully so. I mean, the kid looked pretty good. I think he only had 10 points um, and like 3 assists or something like that. But I mean, when you look at it in totality, you know, um, it's promising. It's promising. You got to look at the eye test, as
Hmm.
they say. That eye test. So when you do that, then you can see the potential there. Um, and just bringing up the box score here. Yeah, he had 10 points, 4 assists, um, in 19 minutes of play, 4 of 11. So the numbers don't wow you, but you got to understand this was his first game back. He did have a back injury recently, so that kind of hampered things a little bit. But yeah, man. I mean, the kid looked pretty good. I'll throw a highlight up there for you guys to see, but I do think that
Well, here's
I do think that the Nets have a promising backcourt. And when you take into consideration what Yegor Doman has done too, and his improvement in his game, of course, that is the Nets. That was the Nets. That was pick 8 last year for the Nets. That's the guy right there with the ball that passed it to Brown. This kid's a tall. This kid's got size, physicality, as you see right there. He has a good feel for the game, a good passer, and his 3-pointer has come along, and he's been knocking it down, Coach. In these summer league games, they've played 3 of them so far, and he has looked about the best player in each game. A lot of times for both teams. So I like what his development has come along. I like how his development has come along, and I do like the fact that you got this young kid Brown to pair along with him, who is more of a pass first guard. Even though you see him right there knocking down the 3, he's more of a pass first guard. So, Coach, talk to me, man. What do you see, man? What do you think? And do you think the Nets are moving in the right direction with this with these 2 guards here?
No, I think they are moving in the right direction. Like I said earlier, they can continue to develop if Coach Fernandez continues to develop your young talent, and you can blend in and mix in with the veterans that you have in Porter Jr. and Randall. I forgot who was the other one that you guys just signed to.
Michael Porter Jr., Julius Randle, and then you talking about the center, Wagner?
Yeah. Mo Wagner. If you can, if they can help those young guys develop, and look, Wagner is not going to be a scoring threat, but he's going to be a little grizzle type of guy. Do a lot of the dirty work that you would want from a player like him. And if Julius, can, recapture a little bit what he had with the Knicks when he first, was starting to become when it was an all-star. You have the makings of something here. And again, it's going to take some time, but look, if they, develop and, work hard and understand the offense and play defense, that's going to be the biggest thing. Julius is going to have to, look, don't argue with the referees. Just, get back down court and, play some defense because, look, Julius is a talented guy, so, and he's back home because, his family loves being in New York. They really do. So, you guys can end up having something special here, down the road. And then, who knows, you might get some stars across the league who are going to want to come in and contribute. And you never know. I mean, you're seeing now that you don't need these quote unquote super duper stars who are going to eat up all your salary. You just want the right players that come in and help. And especially if you got some young talent, help it grow. So,
Mets says the Mets won 6-2. All right, well, good. Thank God. Because these baseball teams been pretty bad, to say the least. But so what the Nets are doing in summer league, and we get to see the Knicks and the Nets young talent on display Friday. Got me asking the question: who has the better young talent, Knicks or Nets? Now, gotta qualify this because y'all got some superstars over there. So, you know, we talking 25 and under. So I did go through the Knicks roster because damn near everybody on the Nets is 25 or under, besides, you know, Randall and Porter. But I did go through the Nets roster and the Knicks roster. And guys you got that are 25 and under, that be Dadier, Diawara, Kolick, and Miles McBride. And Shohan or Shochan. I don't know.
Shochan is right now. He's going to be a free agent. He remember he's not going to be. You know, I don't think they're bringing him back anyway. So Deuce is 25.
Yeah, they got Deuce McBride here at 25.
Okay. What about Jemison? I thought Jemison.
According to ESPN, so that's the source. So don't kill me.
No, that they're usually on point with that.
Trey Jemison is 26.
Okay.
Got a guy Dylan Jones. He's 24.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dylan Jones.
Jack, the guard you just drafted, Jack Khalil. He's 20, obviously. And yeah, so those are the players. And if we're looking at the Nets, just to be thorough with
10, 12 players who are 25 years old. Come on, man.
Yeah, so Mikael Brown, obviously. They got Clowney, Billendo, Yegor, Josh Jefferson. These are all recent draft picks. Chaney Johnson, EJ Liddell, Josh Minott. Josh Minott's only 23. Wow. Drake Powell, Day'Ron Sharp, Nolan Traore, Zaire Williams ain't on the roster no more, and Danny Wolf. So, but a lot of those guys aren't, like spectacular players. Some of them are rookies. So I think it's a fair question. Who has the better young talent, the Knicks or the Nets? What you thinking, Coach?
Because I'm thinking about the guys you have, and I'm just going to compare it to two guys, and that's Deuce and Diawara. Diawara has elevated, in my opinion, his standing. He's over Dadier, and Dadier is a former first-round draft pick. So, and Diawara was a late second round last year. So, and if you watch his game, if you really look at him, he's a young Pascal Siakam when Pascal was first in Toronto. And, he's 6'9", 6'10", can handle the rock and shoot, can match up defensively, very smart player. So, and of course, Deuce McBride, what Deuce can do. Defensive, stalwart, streaky shooter. But when he gets going, man, he can put up a 20-piece on you in a heartbeat. So, Kolick, he's growing. He goes down to the G League and he puts up points, but you got to transition that to the NBA, and but he's I used to say he's almost similar to Brunson because they're both from the Big East. They were both Big East players of the year. They're both left-handed players. Their style is pretty similar in the way they play, but Brunson's footwork is far superior, and his moves are a lot better than Kolick. So Kolick has some things there, but he still needs to continue to develop. A little bit of his court awareness at times. He definitely, and being consistent with his shot. Because he does have a nice shot, but he's not consistent with it. Like I said, Dadier has the skill set. It's just, I don't know with this kid. Maybe it's just he can't really shine in New York, because we all know everyone doesn't shine in New York. But he played in France. He played in Paris. So it's not like he can't play on a big stage. So I just don't understand. But as far as the skill set, he has a nice jump shot. good handle. He can play defense. So there is something there. Yes, he's a late first round draft pick. So, but again, like I said, in matching up the top two, um, and because you have so many, did I go by young talent? See, I don't know who matches up with Deuce and
You gotta think
um,
about it. No, you
yeah,
gotta think about it.
it's like but on the back end, the Knicks, they're very comparable to what you guys have, but you have more players, so that gives you a better opportunity to find something.
I'm gonna give you a
But
name. Noah Clowney.
Clemens
Noah Clown.
good. I mean,
Noah Clowney's a player. The next draft, he averaged 12 points, 4 rebounds last year on 40% shooting. He was a first round pick in 2023, 6'10, 210. So he's one of those wing type players. If you want a kind of a player along the daddy Diawara,
mhm.
you guys with them names, boy. Whew, Diawara. But
But
they
Clemens
also
doesn't have to handle like you were.
no, I'm just saying he's a big man. If you
Okay, okay, okay,
want to
okay.
go like that, the Nets also have Day'Ron Sharp, who I like.
Yeah, the
Day'Ron
Knicks
Sharp
don't
is
have a young center type or power forward. Yeah, no, I
yeah.
give you that.
Day'Ron Sharp might be the starting center this year for the Nets. It'll either be him or Wagner. So
But Deuce is
I
a
think
former starter too. So it's like that's
mhm.
why I said, if I go off of the top two in terms of just talent, pure talent, I mean, Deuce is going to give the Knicks a slight edge because he's been there. He's been a key contributor in a playoff run. So, but yeah, like you said, Clowney, it has put up, more numbers, but, you can also make the argument that, what, they're not playing sometimes for anything. So sometimes he might be playing against second level. You're not, just think about it. You're not playing, you know, in the playoffs because that's really where it matters the most.
Mhm.
So and that's why it's a great question and a great argument, but because of the situation, the Knicks, just winning the championship, and these guys, like I said, Deuce contributed. Now Diawara didn't. Coach shortened his rotation, so but that's the reason why he shortened his rotation to go, with the core to really focus on winning the championship. So it's a give or take because you're not playing the young guys to see what you have because you were trying to win, but the Nets you're playing them, so let's just say
And the
it's
guy you
even.
play
It's
averaged
even.
the Deuce averaged 12 and 2, shot 42%. So that's the guy that got, I guess, more so the most minutes out of your young
Hmm.
group.
Yes, exactly.
And with the Nets, I would have to think that would be Clowney. It's either him or Sharp because
It's
I'm gonna
even.
throw Yago in there too because he is a talent.
Hmm.
That dude can
Hmm.
play, So, but just going off last year, we looking at guys like Noah Clowney, um, Day'Ron Sharp. Even though Yago did play last year, um, he averaged 10, 3, and 3. So you can throw him in
But
there as well. But he
here's the
didn't
other.
play a full season. And I think his potential is a lot higher than a lot of people may be thinking at this point. Just because I'm
But
just watching him play
here's the
basketball.
other thing too. The
Mm,
guys you're talking about, Clowney, Sharp, Yeager, they're playing a lot more starter minutes too. Where Deuce is on the bench now. He started early, but they moved him to the bench. So, that changed the narrative. So that's why I said right now I have to say it's even. I really have to say it's even, because each situation is different. They really are, and what the Nets are playing for versus what the Knicks were playing for. They're two different situations. So, you're trying to develop and find what you have. The Knicks were competing for a championship. So, but if we're just talking about sheer talent, If you went into, an open gym and saw them play, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna put my money on Deuce. I'm gonna be honest with you because Deuce, he can put up, 20, 30 points on you.
That's one player though. And I
that's
understand.
the
Yeah,
problem.
he's a talent, but
That's the problem.
who has the better young core? I'm gonna say the Nets actually because
But here's the
they
issue,
have
though.
more of a core.
But that's what I'm getting at, because they're two different situations. That's why I keep saying that, because the Knicks have a veteran core in front of them. You guys are trying to still develop and find what you have. So, they're playing, the Knicks young talent is playing off of the bench while you have players who are starting. So it's two different situations. So that's why I say it's even. Because if you took Deuce and you put him over there, could he be scoring up at will? I think so. I really think so.
It's probably. Not gonna lie.
And Diawara, I think, would probably get you 15 to 18 points a game, maybe 6-7 rebounds. Even Dadier, like I said, he has some talent.
You, I'm gonna throw the link to you. I want to see his. I want to get his opinion on this. I think it's a decent question.
Yeah, no, I
just thought about it because I was like, wait,
and
we can't put the veterans in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Because the Nets don't really have no veterans, and the Knicks have a bunch of them. And just looking at the young players, you know what I'm saying?
But you also have to look at their situation. You have young players that can also start, and the Knicks, their young players are coming off of the bench. So it's kind of hard to really sit here and evaluate who has the better young talent, because that same young talent that you're talking about, if you brought them over to the Knicks, guess where they're going to be? On the bench. Because you're not taking any of the starters' playing times. And are you going to be able to produce with the minutes that you get? And don't forget, you still have other vets, with Landry Shamet. You just brought back Alvarado. Now you got Andre Drummond. Let me stop killing Drummond. The point I'm making is that each situation is different. It is a great question, and it's hard because each situation is different. But now, if you took players from both and put them on either side, now what's the results going to be? So it's again, like I said, it's an interesting question. You're going to say the Nets, and I understand you should. Me, I'm going to think the Knicks, but it's based off of Leaf. I see you over there rolling your eyes, man. I see you. You the ultimate Knicks hater, man. The ultimate. You the biggest Knicks hater I have ever met in my life.
NYG. You see, this is a clear-cut example of why you just can't give people nothing. This is a clear-cut example.
What are you giving me? You ain't giving me nothing. Don't start.
This is a clear-cut example of why certain fan base should remain where they are. Just leave them. Let's leave them where they at.
No, you're the one coming on here rolling your eyes. I'm talking and I'm being respectful, and you come in rolling your eyes. I'm like, come on, bro. And I said, go ahead, Doug. But let me start.
Leaf. Let's get you into this conversation. Who has the better young core? We just talking about the young core, 25 and under. So I went through, some of the players. Coach throughout Diawara, Miles McBride, Dadier, Kolick, and I mean, pretty much the entire Nets roster damn near is under 25. So I don't have to list the players on for the Brooklyn Nets. But who has the better young core out of as a group, as a core?
Mitch.
You know what I'm saying? Mitch, what's good?
Mitch, what's going on?
Well, I'm gonna give you a call when I get done with the podcast if you're still up.
What's going on, Mitch? Well, to answer that question, we can only go off of potential and spots. In terms of that's what we can only go off of. In terms of potential and spots, that we thinking in future reference, it's most likely you're gonna aim towards us. In terms of where they are and what they already been in their careers, I can understand why coach might say McBride and Diawara or whoever the hell else they had over there that was under 25. But majority of their roster was guys that was basically the Villanova Wildcats and a whole bunch of other veterans and stuff like that. So realistically, it's kind of an unfair question to that side because they're not building young. They still got $100 million left on the table thanks to the little itty bitty engine that could, and the Villanova Wildcats and Cat and all the other players that they had, and they still trying to move forward with that, or they still trying to move forward with the core that they won with. You know what I'm saying? So like the young conversation kind of belongs to us, just in terms of what it looked like. What we need to establish is the potential part. That's what we need to establish. We need to establish how we want to play and how we want to and what type of identity that we want to have moving forward with the young core, as opposed to just having young players and just having them in spots.
Coach,
Leaf. Like I said to NYG, one other thing that I'm looking at in terms of the evaluation is if you were to take, who is it? What's the center's name? Not just the forward.
Noah Clowney.
Yeah, Clowney. If you took him and a couple other your guys and you brought them over to the Knicks, and then you took Deuce McBride, Diawara, Dadier, guys like that, and you brought them over to the Nets, with those same players that, Clowney and them coming over to the Knicks, would they produce in the same manner that they are with the Nets and vice versa with, Deuce McBride and those guys? Because I'm of the mindset that Deuce McBride, if he was on his own team, he's going to get you at minimum, maybe he's going to push you 18 to 22-ish. I mean,
he's starting on the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, if he started.
Do you think he's starting on the Brooklyn Nets? Do you think he starts? McBride, if he was put on the Nets right now with the roster they have, does he start?
Be honest, bro. I mean, if you don't think so.
I'm asking both of y'all.
I think he does.
I know what I'm thinking, but
the reason why I say no is because the investment has been made in our 2 lottery picks. Our only 2 lottery picks since we've been in the city of Brooklyn. It's been invested in Yegor Demen, and it's been invested in to the young man Mikael Brown Jr., who I think is phenomenal in summer league in the minutes that he played. So I think it's all about the investment that you made in certain players. You know what I'm saying? Like the investment, if you go back to the Knicks core, this conversation would be a lot better if we were talking about that Knicks core that had Quickly, that had RJ Barrett, and that had Obi Toppin, because Obi Toppin and RJ Barrett, they were lottery picks. They were top 10 guys in their draft. You know what I'm saying? But the Knicks had moved on from that and moved on quickly. I think was close to winning 6th man of the year. He got paid soundly in Toronto. RJ went to Toronto as well. Obi Toppin went to Indiana. He was in the finals a year ago. So I think that just that young group, I mean, even though McBride is still around, I think just that young group, if you're talking about those guys were more of the investment before they landed Brunson and before they moved forward with Brunson and and that crew of things. So if Brunson wasn't in the conversation at all, but going back to 2023, 2022, 2023, I think that would be a better conversation, because that's the group that dug the Knicks out of the gutter, along with Julius Randle, and they were all on that roster. Those were guys that were all on that roster. Those young pieces were on that roster when the Knicks was dragged out of the 8-year crap hole that they was in. You know, so I mean, if they were still moving forward with that would be a better conversation. But with McBride, I think McBride is fitting into a role. Simply because of not just because of where he was drafted in his placement, where he was drafted, but the team that that's constructed right now, and the team that was constructed before they got Jalen Brunson and a lot of these guys, he was a 6-man. Now that they got Jalen Brunson, a lot of these guys, he was a 6-man.
He was back and forth. He was starting. There were times he was starting with Tibbs, and then they were trying to get him to be the point guard. That's what was the problem when Tibbs was trying to make him the point guard, but he was inconsistent in terms of setting up the offense because the offense was very stagnant at times, and he was streaky. But his defense, because Tibbs loves defense, and that's the biggest thing with Deuce, where his on-ball pressure, he's very good with it. He gets his feet, he gets his foot, he uses his feet very well to at least keep himself in front of the ball carrier. So, but yeah, offensively, he was challenged, and that offensive system that he was under Tibbs, it really wasn't conducive to what he was trying to do. Yes, he's better as a 6-man. I agree with that. But my whole argument was, okay, now you're talking about Brown. I mean, he's only played what? How many?
He's played McBride. If we're talking about McBride got on the roster in 21-22. That was like the year after Yard played the Hawks in the first round. So he was a part of that young team that was that didn't have Brunson yet. With Julius Randle. So when I look at the minutes, I'm looking at first year 9 minutes, second year 12, third year 19, last year 25, and this year 26. I would like to say those are consistent 6-man minutes from 24 to 26 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Anything higher than that is a starter.
My point being is they try to make him the starter. Yeah. Because the offense wasn't producing, which is why he ended up being a 6-man. Plus, you ended up getting Brunson a little bit later, so that regulated him to. But they did play them together initially in the beginning to see if they could play well together. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you Deuce McBride is a starter in the NBA, with the Knicks. No, I'm not foolish enough. Right now, you see what you're gonna get, but you know what? After this year, he's going to look for his money, and someone is probably going to give him starters money. They really are, because they figure that they can get something out of him. So, is he a 6-man? I agree with you. I agree, but there's still also talent. And that's why I said if you switch the players, just switch them, in terms of their roles. And I'm basing it off of last year. See, I'm not basing Brown because, he just came here. I can't really judge him, but based on what you guys had last year and NYG, we're talking the talent based off of last year, or are we talking about this year also? Because I didn't include the guys that we drafted this year.
Right, yeah. I said better young core, so you got to put them both together. Yeah, even though you don't really have a clear picture. That's what I'm saying. We're projecting. We're projecting.
Yeah. I mean, the kid that we got from Germany, I haven't seen much. I've seen a couple of clips from him, so it's even hard for me to judge him. The guy from Cincinnati, the one thing he is a shooter, but that's his skill. That's it. He's not going to get you more, so he's a bench player. So that's why it's like, I guess Leaf is right. It's hard. It's not fair in a sense for this question because two different situations, which is why, that's why I said it has to be even because it's two different situations. The Knicks are playing at a different, they're playing for a different goal while the Nets are trying to build something to get there, so if you want to say you guys have a younger core and talent, okay, in terms of young talent, but we also don't have the numbers that you have too, so
that's
exactly
and this is why I think the conversation is more built towards potential because
that's
a lot of the guys, both the Knicks and the Nets, haven't had legitimate starter minutes. If we look at our young core, the Flatbush Five and Mikael Brown Jr., and we look at your young core.
Flatbush Five, I never heard that one.
That's what they call them, the Flatbush Five.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm like,
no.
All over Nets Twitter, they known as.
I get it. That's a Nets thing, and I respect it. I get it. So, but finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I think that this year is more of a prove-it year for a lot of our guys. Well, and not so much of a prove-it year, but more so not just for the guys, but the coaching staff. We got to remember our coaching staff is young. Jordy is only 30-something years old. You know what I'm saying? Like Jordy Fernandez is probably what 37, 38. He's the same age as me.
Okay.
So realistically, when they brought him over here, they initially we still had Mikal. They traded for the picks. Y'all gave us the picks. Y'all got Mikal, and then we had to reroute, and then a 2-year tanking no limit tanking process. And now this year, with the new rules that's in set for the anti-tanking BS that they started to install all after the fact when San Antonio and OKC got rich. Now we gonna have to compete, but I don't mind it. I mean, I think we got a solid backcourt for the future. I think we got our future backcourt for the future in Yegor and Mikal Brown Jr. I've been known to say this a lot, but Danny Wolf is arguably one of the biggest X factors on this team going forward, and I stand on that firmly.
Okay, all right. Big Danny Wolf fan, Leaf with the Danny Wolf. You know what I'm saying?
Good takes.
But let's get to our baseball, man. What is wrong with New York?
Leaf, before
baseball?
you get out of here, man, be safe, brother. Appreciate you. Gonna miss you, man, and I can't wait to see you come back.
Yeah. I ain't gonna be gone for maybe a week and a half, man.
I know.
Yeah, sure. Hope I get tired of family, man, and then I come right back where I'm at. Man, so I'll be all right.
Flying the country.
Yeah. I'm road tripping it, man. I'm just driving up and down Middle America, man. All of these empty states that they got, man. I'm messing around and be in Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma.
I'm messing around. Now watch out for them good old boys. Now watch out for.
I'm gonna mess around and be in the Dakotas. I'm messing around and be in all the rectangular states, man.
Dakotas. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm got a nice little family trip, man. With her and her family and everything.
I hope y'all enjoy it, man.
I should be back after the 19th, man. I'm gonna make a big return and everything, and I'm always locking on, see in the chat and see what you guys are doing. NYG, okay. Man, we back in order. Coach, man, you wanted to all. I
got something for you too when you get back. Got a nice little promo commercial for you. So
I appreciate it, man. Coach, man, you one of the all-time greats.
All right.
Your only solace is that you are a Tangerine supporter. So
whatever. You a nice little brother, man. You'll always be my little brother.
I'm not. No, I'm too big for that.
Well, you either a little brother or you could be my son because my oldest is your age now. Don't go there now. Don't go there.
I'm too old and too big for that, man. Everybody know that.
You could be my little brother. Let me tell you something. I got a brother who's younger than you. I actually have a brother who's younger than you. So, you could be my little brother. So it's either you my little brother or you my son.
Neither.
Right.
I'm way too authentic for that, man. I'm definitely glad to share the spots, man. I'm gonna lock into the Liberty, into the Nets, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I'll see y'all real soon, man.
Right.
Let me get my stuff in order, man. I'm holler at y'all.
All right, Leaf, man. Appreciate you tapping in. We're gonna get into some baseball here. Yankees lost again. And Aaron Boone was ejected.
Runner goes, swinging it.
And this was the play. So Yankees,
he's out.
losing 3-0.
He's
Boone
out.
he had an issue with it, so he got tossed. The other bench coach, I believe, got tossed, and
Terrible.
it's not looking good for the Yankees right now. It's not looking good for the Yankees right now, because you're losing to the team you're chasing, and that is the Tampa Bay Rays. And again, this team has not hit well. They have struggled in that department. But not only that, you know, your bullpen has just been awful. So now you got a Yankees team that is 5 games behind the Rays now. And I'll show you guys the standings here. What can they do to get right? What can they do to get right? Because that is a lot of the chatter out, not only in New York, but in baseball circles. What is wrong with the Yankees? This team does not play well. They've been you know, you losing to teams like the dang on Tigers and the and the Twins. So
Lost 11 or 13.
11-13, 5 games behind Tampa right now.
Before long, you're gonna end up losing the spot and in terms of the wild card.
Right.
It's
Right. So there's rumors about them trading for Skubal, Tarek Skubal, Tigers ace. You know, there's but I think they need hitting, bro.
You need hitting in bullpen.
You need hitting in bullpen, and I think you need you need some pop.
Mm-hmm.
You need some pop, and I don't like, where are they going to get it from?
What's that halftime?
You know what I'm saying? Where are they going to get it from? Because I don't know what the damn answers are for this Yankees team. I mean, you got to obviously make a trade, and who do you go get? Who do you go get? Now, I found an interesting article trying to fix these baseball teams. And what didn't Yankees and Mets actually do a deal? I'm gonna get you next time. Mets, I need to holler at you too, man. I'm gonna see you in the chat, but now's not the time, buddy. I really gotta talk to you about something. I'm gonna get to you though. Halftime was good with you. Yankees potential trade partner is the Mets. Because the Mets are gonna be sellers. The Mets right now are in the baseball cellar. You know, they're 39-54, 15 games behind the Braves in their division. They're bad. The Yankees are struggling. That's the difference between the two teams, but they're both playing bad baseball. And so can they actually make a deal?
For what? For who?
So here it's the rotation, I'm guessing. You got Peralta, Senga, and Sean Manaea.
Well, it depends on what you're giving up to get them.
Do you go that way?
What are you giving up to get them?
Do you go and get Bichetti? mean, he hasn't played well. So
No, I
don't
mean
know.
it's not. Yeah, it's
You know.
if he's not producing, then no, you don't bring
Do
him
you
in.
go and get Lindor? It
Too
says
much.
reports have suggested the Soto-Lindor relationship has deteriorated significantly since becoming teammates, leading to vague rumors that the Mets may trade Lindor.
He
Lindor
makes
is under
too much
contract to
money.
2030, though.
But look at it. What is his contract for?
Lindor's contract, let's see. Contract. Yeah, it's a huge one. It's 10 years, $341 million. It runs
Another
through,
$300 million player.
yeah, it runs through 2031. I don't think you want to hold on to that contract too long. So that might be a no.
That's a
But
big no with me right now.
but where do the Yankees get help? Where do the
First
Mets
of all,
get
what
help?
is Lindor hitting right now? What is his stat line? I mean, I'm saying no to the money, but now are you telling me he's producing? I don't think he's producing as well as he should be, especially for that money.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing a lot
Nah.
this
So,
year. He's only hitting 211, 4
No.
home runs, 10
No.
RBIs.
No.
32 years old.
No.
Yeah,
That's
might as well
hard.
keep Jazz Chisholm. I don't know, man. Like,
I'd rather-
I mean, shit, you
Chisholm
gonna
is
get that kind
his
of
contract is
production.
not as long as his. So.
Right. If you're gonna get that kind of production, you might as well keep Jazz. There was a player. Let me see. I can find this dude's name that the Yankees could possibly target. I mean, because they got to get. I mean, because the problem is Aaron Judge. Okay, so you don't have Judge, you don't have Stanton.
Is Grissom back?
Grissom is cheeks right now, man. He's
And
not
I heard he
doing
was
much.
out though because of injury though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think he came back. I think he came back today, if I'm not mistaken, and he I'm looking at the stat line. I just seen it earlier. Yeah, no, he's he pinch hit it.
Okay.
He pinch hit. So but yeah, these guys, Bellinger, Dominguez, Volpe. I mean, so they ain't got it right now with these players and the position players. I think the pitching has been played well. I mean, the starting pitching, the bullpen is still. The bullpen was a problem when we talked going into this season. Remember, and they ain't done nothing to correct that. So that's what I'm saying, Coach. Man, I don't know.
They have a lot of problems and so much money that's hindering them. From Steinbrenner doesn't want to. He's not like his dad, so he's not going to overspend. So that's the thing. It's look, when you got an owner who don't want to spend, it doesn't look good, man. It doesn't look good.
Yeah. So, question is, who do you get rid of? So, the top targets right now, for the Yankees, Spencer Jones and Elmer Rodriguez.
But if you're giving up your top talent, then you better get a nice return. That's the problem.
Right. So those are the ones that are being floated out there.
And those guys are also in the talks with Scooble. So it's like, and to be honest with you, if you're going to get rid of them, I want talent like Scooble. whether it's a hitter or a top bullpen who is to that magnitude, and their contract is controllable for a few years. That's what I need. So especially if I'm giving up talent like that. So, and that's why I say they're in a catch-22. They really are. Going across the league, are there any bullpen pitchers that are worth it, and what hitters is worth giving that up, giving up that talent.
Yankees also mentioned in a trade for Minnesota catcher Ryan Jeffers, but he's coming back off an injury, so like it's just
it doesn't make sense. Going after people coming off of injuries, you have a lot of guys who are injuries. You need hitting. Okay, is this catcher? I mean, is he a top catcher who's gonna help you with your hitting? If not, then I'm like, why are we even rumors? To be considering. I mean, I don't know the kid, so I can't say he's not a good player.
He's hitting it. He's 295, 7 home runs, 26 RBIs in 2026 so far. Last year he had 266, 9 home runs and 47 RBIs. I'm gonna tell you what though, that is a lot better than what dang on Austin Wells is doing. That dude is bad.
But is it worth giving up top talent? That's the.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't know if you want to give up Jones or Rodriguez.
Yes, that's my point. And when you start talking about those two, I'm looking at, okay, well, is this a top bat in the league? Someone who's really tearing it up? Is it, a top, bullpen pitcher who can come in and really solidify and, get you, pitch for you maybe from the 6th, 7th, and maybe the 8th inning, or at least give you 6, 7. So, when he comes in, at least you got 2 innings covered, then we could talk. But, it's like I see a lot of these rumors, and it's like, some of the players that you're talking about, I'm like, well, is this player any good? I'm like, because, I mean,
it's very underwhelming. Very underwhelming.
Exactly, bro. It is very underwhelming. So,
the Mets are looking to get rid of some of their players as well. And they've been looking at some guys as we take a look here. So Freddie Peralta, 2 things can be true. Peralta can be the Mets' best deadline asset, and it may be a no-brainer to trade him. Last week in Toronto, he allowed 5 more runs to raise his ERA to 4.81, which ranks 6th worst among qualified major league starters. While teams will surely still have interest in Peralta given his pedigree, will they dangle a prospect significantly better than the Mets could get through draft pick compensation by extending him to a qualifying offer? So, says 80% chance of trade here. I think he's on the move. Personally, they just mentioned him in that Yankees article as well. Left-handed pitchers Brooke Riley and AJ Minter. These are 2 classic deadline rentals, left-handed relievers on expiring contracts who are having excellent seasons. Every July, there's a long list of contenders seeking bullpen help. Wink, wink, Yankees. For those reasons, Riley 2.5 ERA over 32 innings and Minter 0.60 over 15 innings are as good as gone. Chances of trade 99%. Okay.
But the question is, what do you want for those type of pitchers? Because I agree with you. If you can get those guys, the one of them, go get them. But if you're talking about your top prospects, I'm like, no. I'm sorry. And they're an expiring contract, no.
Yeah, you're not going to do that with an expiring contract. You're not going to give up a top prospect. You might give something, but it ain't going to be one of your top guys. Here's what things Luke Weaver and who's Scott. I'm bad with pronunciations. Here's what things get obvious. Weaver has 1 more year of team control after the season. Brazoban has 3 more. Both players can help the Mets in 2027 a team that still intends to compete, yet relief pitchers are fickle. And Brazoban demonstrated during a ninth inning meltdown on Sunday the value of these two may never get higher. Relievers, even good ones, also tend to be replaceable through free agency and the farm system. Well, why can't the Yankees get any? If the president of baseball operations, David Stearns, wishes to cash in on Weaver's 23-game scoreless streak, now is the time. If he wants to cash in on Brazoban's versatility, now's the time. These players have real value on the trade market, 70%. So there is your, I guess, solution to the Mets. I mean, they already got rid of Mendoza. They've been crying about that. And then, we'll see what they do with Stearns, the GM. But you need to get this roster better. And if you ain't going to compete this year, you might as well let some of these dudes go and get younger and try to, bring up some kids through your farm system. Because you trying to be this big-time baseball team and compete with the big-time teams like the Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, and different teams like that. Nah. But all right. Let's get to. We're going to talk a little bit of light football news, man. Before we wrap it up, we get into culture segment. Not a whole lot going on. It is in the dog days of summer, but where's my other banner? So which football team has more momentum heading into training camp, Giants or Jets? Here's the thing with the Jets. We got to talk about something. Almost forgot about this. So, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Geno Smith been getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Geno Smith been getting in trouble. Geno involved in a new incident. Yeah, it says a new incident because he has a previous incident that he's dealing with. This time, police said he was doing 70 and 45. Okay, cool. Didn't have a license at the scene. Why you ain't got your license on you, bro?
It happens.
But yeah, it happens. These are traffic violations, not misdemeanors, citations, yada yada yada. The bigger news is this assault allegation that they're reopening that was recently closed, and they're bringing it back up. I believe this was in Florida.
Mm-hmm. I think it's with his significant other or something like that.
This happened, yeah. His ex-girlfriend. So only bad news can come out of these off seasons. So not a good start for the Jets and the quarterback spot. But what do you think, or who do you think has the momentum heading into camp? Giants, we already know. We've been going in through the Giants, the news with the Giants, and not going to rehash stuff that Jackson Dart and Abdu. I'm not going back all over that again. No. It has been quiet on the Giants front since those incidents. So, but they were there. This thing with the Jets there. We know what both teams kind of look like roster-wise heading into the season. who do you think has a more momentum going in? And again, we talk about these teams, talent versus talent. I think the Jets sneaky got a decent roster over there, sneakily. And of course, there's a lot of hype with the Giants with Harbaugh and all that. Rightfully so. They've made moves to strengthen their squads. But who has more momentum going into the season, would you say?
It's going to be the Giants because of Harbaugh. It's just that's it. It's because of Harbaugh. That's the momentum taking them into the what you call it. I think Dan Dugan posted something where he said with Harbaugh, the Giants are going to be in a new world because under Daboll, they did not practice the way Harbaugh is talking about 10 practices in 11 days, where under Daboll, it would have been 3 practices under 11 days to start training camp. So, that's something that the players are going to have to get used to. Fans are excited with Harbaugh because you now have an adult in the room. You have a real head coach. So it's exciting. So that's where that momentum comes from, and, the Giants, you can make the argument the Giants were better than the Jets last year. So, but yes, the Jets have done a great job in building their roster up. We both said the same thing, but you also said the key word, sneaky. So if it's sneaky, that means it's quiet and you don't have the momentum. But the Giants with Harbaugh and all the fanfare, I remember when he went to MSG and he got a standing ovation from the, that's the momentum. Everyone is waiting to see what's going to happen with Harbaugh and the Giants and how will these players play in under him. So, that to me is where the momentum lies from. If you're talking about on the field, I think they're both, they're both even in terms of the player acquisitions, things that they've done. You can make the argument the Giants are probably have the sexier picks, with Reese and Malinoga. But Wilson's, he's something that if he hits, he's a great pick. And then trading back up into the first round to get Cooper, and Sadiq, yes, Kenya Sadiq, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They drafted Kenya Sadiq.
Here's the other thing.
And David Bailey.
Here's the other thing I saw online too. Do you know Sadiq right now? I forgot. Damn it! I should have saved it. As far as tight ends, he's number 3 in terms of average value. And I'm like, wow.
That's what we were saying about the running back. That's why I was to Jeremiah Love.
No, I get what you're saying. And, I was just saying, I wasn't expecting a rookie to come in and be at number 3, but that also says the tight end his position where he was drafted. So that's what, but it's also going to raise the value. But getting back to the point, the Jets have 3 first rounders. The Giants have 2, but, we're excited about Colton Hood and Field. So, both teams are pretty much even in terms of draft picks in a sense. And then, key acquisitions with players, so on and so forth. OBJ is always going to draw interest. Let's be real. Yeah. So that's why I say that the players as a whole, it's even. So Harbaugh is the creme de la creme, in terms of coaching. So that's where I go with the momentum with the Giants.
Yeah. And I agree with you there. I'm not going to give a lot of pushback on that one. I will say Aaron Glenn has got to make sure that he does his best to get the most out of this Jets roster, because if not, I think he's, his job may be in jeopardy. So again, you're going to have to squeeze some games out this year that you probably not expected to win. So I mean, the Jets have internal pressure, not external pressure. Whereas the Giants, the pressure is external through the media and everybody. You know, in that locker room, you know, they know those guys know what they got to do, and you know they you know John Harbaugh's going to keep that together. You know, with the Jets, I think it's the opposite. The pressure's internal. Like those guys know they got to. The coaching staff know they got to go in there and win some games. They got to get some shit done. You know, that's why I brought this Geno Smith news up, because this ain't a good start for you guys. This ain't a good start for the Jets. You know, you don't want your starting quarterback in the news for the wrong reason. You know, and this is legal stuff. It's not, you know, stuff like what Jackson Dart was doing or whatever. But so that's it for the football. We're going to transition into our culture segment here now. And this time, yeah, man, we going to the streets, man. We going to hip hop. We going to talk about conscious rappers. You know what I'm saying? Dudes were spitting them bars, man. That heat that got your mind right. You know what I'm saying? That made the streets, whatever. But we're gonna get into that, man. Coming right back here with our culture segment. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and coming right back. Let's get to it. All right, let's get into it, man. So today we're doing top 5 conscious rappers of New York, New Jersey area, what we call heart of the city, and just guys, like I said, that was spitting knowledge, spitting music, and I mean, I've always loved that type of hip hop, that style. So I do appreciate this topic, Coach. I will do the honors and set this thing off here.
Okay.
Get my shit together. All right. All right, so I'm going top 5 conscious rappers of New York City. Now, again, it's my list. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can like it, love it, hate it, not agree with it, but that's what these discussions are for, man. And that's why I appreciate this this show and this segment. But let's start it off with number 5 here. Let's get to it.
Number 5.
Talib Kweli. I think he was one of the most underrated rappers in general, man. You know what I'm saying? Talib Kweli, man. Of course, we all know the music, man. But I believe that cats like this that don't get talked about a lot deserve to be on lists like this, because again, man, you talking about conscious rap. And that's what we're talking about. It wasn't no. That's why you don't hear a lot about some of these cats, man, because it wasn't no a lot of what you call it, mainstream songs or whatever. But again, man, had some hits. Of course, being from BK, with the next man on my list, I gotta rep Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So Talib Kweli coming in at number 5, coming in at number 4.
Number 4.
My man, Mos Def, man, definitely got to be on my list, man. Mos Def, when he rhymes, it just make you pause and be like, yo, what did he say again? Hold up, let me run that back, yo. What did that dude say? Like, yeah, man. And his flow is so smooth. It's a smooth, mellow, just rhythmic flow. One of my favorite rappers, a very underrated rapper as well, Mos Def. And I mean, like I said, he made you think when he spit, and that's what this is about, man. For me, let's go to number 3.
Number 3.
Big dogs. Now, KRS-One. KRS-One was very unique, man. Because he could talk about different things that other people wasn't talking about. You know what I'm saying? And he the way he rapped or rhymed was unique in a sense of how he would deliver his bars. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I loved about KRS-One. You know what I'm saying? He was a true pioneer. Old school. I gotta give credit to the older rappers, man. It came a little bit during my time, but maybe a little before my time, in my what I say golden era, which was the 90s. But KRS-One was still hitting in the 90s, definitely popping in the 80s. And again, he's gonna make you think. And look, man, let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
All right, heavy hitters here now. Nas, another one of those rappers that could create songs that were unique. You know what I'm saying? I know he did the one about the gun. He did the one about being a gun. He did the one about, I think it was called Black Girl Lost. Of course, I Rule. You got different songs, but some of the songs was like real life. You know what I'm saying? Like it hit real life, but Nas put these songs, and Nas still spit too, but he put these songs in a way that, made you think about the other side of things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Coming from the black woman's perspective, coming from the perspective of a gun, coming from the perspective of a young juvenile in the streets. Like, he came from different perspectives, and that's why he's number 2. But there can only be number 1.
Number 1.
Rakim, man, this is the GOAT. It's the GOAT, in my opinion, when it comes to conscious rap, man. The people on this list are maybe not conscious, I should say lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like real lyrical, where you think about the shit and then you go back and listen to it again, because you may not have caught what this dude really just said. Rakim, I think, set the bar for a lot of these rappers when it comes to that style, and really writing and really having bars and lyrics, and not just getting on there just like some of the music you hear out fucking today. Just blah. Yeah. Try. But this ain't trash in this list. I don't think it's trash, man. I think when you talk about just pure conscious rappers, I already know. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? But again, I ain't gonna ramble. Coach, what do you think about the list I just put out there, man?
Very powerful. I definitely like it. And you went more on a singular level in terms of the rappers.
I did, because I could have put Wu-Tang. I could have put, you know what I'm saying? Like you're going to go into some of the dudes that I could have put out there. But again, yeah, I did focus on individuals and not groups. So that's why
I noticed too, you did focus on the lyrical skill with their ability. So, I love seeing Rakim up there, so, and most people know, if you don't know, I'm a big Rakim fan. But I will say this. I did not include him in my list.
Okay.
So, and most people know, you would have thought, okay, Rakim's going to be on this list, where nope, I didn't put Rakim on because I was more, trust me, when you see my list, you're going to understand. I was more into, in a sense, you'll hear it through my presentation, a lot of knowledge of self, and so on and so forth.
True that.
But you know what? I'm ready. So whenever you're ready, let's get into number 5.
Let's rock and roll here. And we're gonna set it off with, I think I got you in order right here. All right, yep. Number 5.
Number 5.
Poor Righteous Teachers from Trenton, New Jersey. I gotta put a Jersey in there. So, AKA PRT, Poor Righteous Teachers. Now, they consisted of Wise Intelligent, who was the lead MC, Culture Freedom, who did a lot of the vocals and production, and Father Shahid, who was the DJ and producer. God rest his soul. They were known for 4 albums: Holy Intellect, Pure Poverty, Black Business, and The New World Order. Some of the most noticeable, everybody knows this: Rock This Funky Joint, Word is Life, Shakila, and Holy Intellect. So for them at the time, they were significant in the consciousness because they brought about cultural influence, that they put into their music. They talked a lot, about their faith. Even, they were part of the 5% Nation. They talked about and had put a heavy emphasis on respect and understanding and appreciation of the knowledge of self. And the lyrical and intricate methodology within the music was, I'm telling you, bar none. Wise Intelligent, man, the way he presented it, he even had a little reggaeton into, the way he presented it. It was just, and I really debated moving them up higher, but when I got into the other ones and really debated this, I was just like, nah, I got to keep them at 5. So, going to move on to number 4.
Number 4.
Sorry, my thumbnail, but this is Brand Nubian from New Rochelle, New York. Now, their members are Grand Poobah. Yes, love Grand Pooh. Sadat X. Man, that dude is really mental. Lord Jamar, DJ Alamo, DJ Sincere, and DJ Stud Doogie. Now, some of their most notable albums: All for One, In God We Trust, Everything is Everything. And you think of songs like Slow Down, Punks Jump Up to Get Beat Down, Don't Let It Go to Your Head, and Love Me or Leave Me Alone, man. I mean, Slow Down, it contributed greatly into, the social awareness and the consciousness of the Black culture. the positivity that was always needed. The song Slow Down, I mean, you think about that. It truly spoke to the people of slowing down sexually, going out and getting a job and not going out robbing and stealing, saying no to drugs. I mean, they really brought a heavy emphasis of being appreciative and being there for their people. And also another one that talked about being a heavy emphasis on knowledge of self and understanding your culture, and the impact that you can have in your community. So really, really love them, especially, like I said, Grand Puba, man, one of the great rappers that is out there who's truly underappreciated. So coming in at number 3.
Number 3.
And NYG, you took them, separated them. And this is where I'm like, you know what? I brought them together, man. You see a couple of the songs right there, Definition, Astronomy, Little Brother. I mean, they're from Brooklyn, New York, which you talk. You have Mos Def, who's also known as Yasimbe, and then Twali. Their big album to me was Mos Def and Twali Kweli, our Black Star. We talked about Definition, Astronomy, Little Brother, Respiration, Brown Skin Lady. Love that song. So they were a great influence to the social consciousness. They were a beacon for it. They were a beacon for also social and intellectual empowerment. They were a duo that really was contrary to the perception that was out there about a lot of hip hop artists. And NYG, you said it, man. Especially, Mos, he made you stop and go back and listen. Not just also with Black Star, but as himself as a solo artist. So I mean, man, the music, these two together, and you could feel the synergy whenever they were out there on the mic. And look, if you never saw them perform, man, you don't know what you were missing. But yeah, those two together back in the day, they were something. Coming in at number 2.
Number 2.
Eli's Own from Roosevelt, Long Island, Public Enemy, man. You got Chuck D, Flavor Flav, Professor Griff, Terminator X, Sister Soldier, DJ Lord. I mean, you got albums. Yo, Bum Rush the Show, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, and A Fear of a Black Planet. Those right there are some of the most powerful albums that have ever been out there. Think about it. Fight the Power. Everybody, when that came out, everybody was flocking to the streets, man. Everyone. Rebel Without a Pause, 911 is a joke. Welcome to the Terror Dome. I mean, you can go through and you can listen to every album, and there are some heavy hitters on there with them, man. I mean, they revolutionized hip hop with their activism. They've done it on the socio-political level. They created the pathway that many artists eventually followed, when they wanted to get into the political awakeness in the mainstream markets. Fans and supporters flocked to support Public Enemy as they made Black awareness, not just the hardcore, but raised being Black and proud to even higher levels. And what do I mean by that? Yes, you had the militant approach, but you were just like, yes, they're speaking the truth. They're speaking facts. They're speaking for the people, so it just, like I said, man, songs Fight the Power is the pinnacle. When that came on, everybody was just like, yes, fight the power. We got to stand up and fight the power. So, I mean, man, I could just go on and on about them, but gotta get to number 1 because there can only be one number 1.
Number 1.
NYG, you talked about it, KRS-One, but also with BDP, Boogie Down Production from the South Bronx. I mean, KRS-One. Don't forget about D-Nice. They call me D-Nice. Scott LaRock, Miss Melody, DJ Kenny Parker. I mean, their albums, Criminal Minded, By All Means Necessary, Ghetto Music, Edutainment. I mean, think about some of the songs, My Philosophy, Love's Gonna Get You, The Bridge Is Over, Criminal Minded. I mean, I'm going to keep going on. I mean, they impacted the development and the direction of hip hop to a more conscious level. They spoke to the stories of the people and the struggle to survive in an environment that really was not conducive to people of color. They attacked the economic, the criminal, and the financial misappropriation faced in disadvantaged communities, speaking out, empowering Black culture and belief in self, as well as educating oneself to be better equipped to deal with the social and the systematic issues that we face continuously, even to this day. I mean, the power that they have back in the days. I mean, one of the biggest songs, even though it was a collective, but you always attribute it to KRS-One and BDP, was Stop the Violence. Man, the movement that they led, you had for a moment where a lot of gangsters, kids in the street, drug dealers were seriously thinking about, maybe I need to put this down, man. Maybe I need to, move on from, living this type of a lifestyle and be more about improving myself and bettering my community and those around me. So, there you have it, my top 5. I get, me, I always give you a couple of honorable mentions. So go ahead, bring that up for me. And there you have, right there, Queen Latifah, Lauryn Hill, and Ja Rule the Damager. Love Ja Rule, man. Really, like, you talk about understanding knowledge of self. He was the big one. Queen Latifah back in the day, I mean, when she first came out, she was the queen. She really was. I mean, you had the crown. I mean, she was out there. And Lauryn Hill, I mean, with the Fugees, and not only singing, but her vocal lyricist, and she made you think, really think. Yeah, there you have it. So that's it. That's what I have for you. You love it or not, that's my list, and I'm gonna stick by it. So what you got, NYG?
Yeah, man. Excellent, man. Yeah, you, like you said, you went more of the group route, which is cool, you know what I'm saying? Because I got to pick the individuals kind of out of those groups. But yeah, man, Lauryn Hill, man. Love Lauryn Hill. That whole Fuji shit back in the 90s, yeah, that was some conscious shit too. So shout out to them.
What's up, Blaze? I knew you would love it, Blaze.
Blaze, yeah.
He's a true hip hop. Yo, I'm telling you, Blaze is a true hip hop. He knows it. He knows the game, man. Come clean, exactly, bro. Yes, you gotta come clean. So yeah, like I said, Blaze knows hip hop truly. So.
And Ja Rule the Damager, man, like you said, man, you had Poor Rights for Teachers.
Yes. Yeah. I mean that see, when
the name says it all.
If you knew Trenton back in the days, it was just like, yo, Trenton is like trash. But when they were coming out, man, I'm serious. It was just like, yo, for a minute, I mean, and they was holding their own. They'd come up to the city and they would hold their own. They would go everywhere and nothing but love and respect for them, So yes, I mean, it's PRT. Yeah, they was that fire back in the day in terms of consciousness. And don't get me wrong, like we said, we talked about others. There's always going to be others, but for me, that's it. So I would toss the Wu-Tang. Yeah, the NYG talked about that. Yeah. But I didn't know which one to pick. They're like, it was so, it's, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, if I'm just going to do individual rappers, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do it like that. But if I want to do groups, See, Blaze, Big Pun and Fat Joe are not, to me, I mean, they have some consciousness, but they're not conscious, where they're talking about uplifting the community, I mean, Big Pun, what's he known for? I like the crush a lot. He talking about banging the females, where like I talked about with
She rap.
Brand Nubian. They talking about slow down. I mean, you know, think about it. That song spoke volumes. Because when I first heard it, I was like, yo, he talking about not having sex. You know, and then you know, you go into, you know, he talking about going out and get a job and not getting robbing people, and then, you know, smoking crack and not yeah. So, you know, Big Pun in them was, you know, mm, mm, yeah. Coogee rap, yeah.
Yeah,
Coogee, see, Coogee is more lyrical, but he's hip
lyrical.
hop.
Yeah.
He's not conscious to me. You know, that's why when I think conscious, I'm talking about uplifting a culture, a people. You know, not just give me some good dance songs or whatever the case may be. It's, you know what, they make me stop and they make me think. Slick Rick, yeah, he had fun, but he did get deep at times. So every rapper does. They really do. Every
Yeah.
trust me, we can pull up songs with everybody. You know, I'll go back to Big Daddy Kane. 'Cause don't forget, Big Daddy Kane was some of his nice songs was, you know, yeah, it made you think. Like you said that, YG, it made you stop and you go back and think, you
Like,
know,
hold
so
up. What you say?
exactly. So Blaze, I love it, man. I love that black ball.
Definitely.
He's coming with it though. Blaze is coming with it, man.
Black Moon. Yeah, definitely.
Blaze, yeah, Blaze. Look, Blaze, seriously, my brother's down for the fight. He is.
We're gonna get in the coaches segment, but
Yeah.
yeah, this I mean coaches corner, but yeah, this was dope, man. This was dope, man, and yeah, we're gonna hit you on the next one, man, with a brand new top 5, man, coaches segment, man. I love this shit, man. But let's get to coaches corner and wrap this thing up.
All right, appreciate everyone for being here, rocking with me for another coach's corner. So, you know, got some things that I want to talk about. You know, the biggest is going right off the bat. Going to talk about is I'm gonna start with the Liberty. So, starting out, you know, they got 2 players who actually earned an All-Star recognition for the All-Star game that's going to be played later on this month. You got Breonna Stewart, who was a starter, and John Paul Jones, who was a reserve. You know, starters were voted for by the fans, and the reserves were voted on by the coaches. So you know, you know, it's a little bit different. Now, as part of the league's 30th season celebration, WNBA legends Cynthia Cooper and Teresa Weatherspoon will be taking center stage as honorary general managers for the All-Star game, and they're going to draft their respective rosters from a pool of 22 All-Stars. So we'll be getting more information later on, but it's going to be interesting to watch Team Cooper versus Team Witherspoon. So, and you know, I'm already thinking like, all right, you know, you got a couple liberties, so you know, is Teaspoon going to get both liberty, you know, onto the roster? So, you know, there you go. So now go to the next slide. You know, in regular season play, the Liberty, you know, they're coming off a tough loss yesterday to the Dallas Wings. Shout out to Cave and Leaf. You know, we covered the game yesterday. The Liberty lost 88-77. It was the second loss to the Wings in New York at home. So all-star for the Wings, Jessica Shepard led the way with a triple-double, 22 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. I mean, she seemed to be everywhere in the paint, especially at the start of the game, slashing right to the rim. And her teammates found her wide open. And literally in the first quarter, I mean, 8 quick points. So she was just everywhere, scoring in the paint, grabbing important rebounds, finding her teammates for some devastating point production. New York, again, they were led by Breonna Stewart, 29 points, 9 rebounds. John Quell was 17 and 12. Sab, you know, she did chip in. I think she had 14 points, but she started out 0 for 7. It's been tough. New York now is going on the road for the next 4 games. They're going to be facing the Lynx on Saturday, Toronto on Sunday, at Dallas next week, and then I'm sorry, yeah, Minnesota, Toronto, Dallas, and Vegas. So it's going to be a challenge for New York because right now they're 13-9 in the league and sitting in sixth spot for the playoffs. So um, to it's just been tough. I mean, yesterday was even tough because they didn't have two of their key players in Leone Fibish and Satu Sabli. They were out, um, and it was tough even more so because prior to that they beat the top two teams in the league. They beat Dallas. I'm sorry, they beat Minnesota and they beat Las Vegas. They beat Minnesota in Minnesota also. On top of that. So it's like, you play the top two teams and you beat them, but then you play teams like Golden State and Dallas, who are good. So please don't think I'm diminishing them, but you can't beat them. And it's just, there's something missing. I have questions about the coaching, the philosophy. Sabrina has been very inconsistent up and down. A lot of players, the bench has not been producing. I think yesterday they got 7 points off of the bench or 9 points off of the bench. You can't have that. Now, part of that is you had to put Rebecca Gardner into the starting lineup, so as well as Pauline Ostier. But, even when they're not starting, there's just something about the bench. Benija Laney has not been herself all year. And there's already talk about either they may trade her or after the season, she's gone from New York. And that's going to be tough. But I have to be honest, her play, some of it I do wonder coming back because last year she was out with a knee injury. But I also think it's some of the like I said, the offense. A lot of times you have John Quell because you're doing the 5 out and you have John Quell sitting outside starting the game shooting threes and not putting her down in the box and forcing the defense to collapse and then later on open up the lane, and then John Quell can stretch out and start shooting threes. That's me. I've never liked the 5 out, but again, this coach, I have my issues. A lot of zone. That's why Jessica Shepard, because he was playing a lot of 3-2 zone, and she was just slashing right there to the middle, like I said, and getting easy buckets. The Wings killed New York with paints in the point. So I have my major concerns about this team going forward. And right now they're sitting at 6th. And you have Indiana right on your heels. That's another team they're going to be facing is Indiana. I think they play Indiana at home, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for New York going forward. So, hopefully they'll figure it out, and we'll improve. And I hope they smash egg in my face and prove me wrong. Coach Ed, you were wrong. Look we figured it out and we took off from there. So that's what I'm hoping for. But, I have my concerns. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to a little college and talk UConn. And UConn's men's basketball team, they rounded out their 26-27 roster with the addition of Igor Omasov. He's a 6'7" Russian forward who joined the Huskies as a freshman. To round out their roster. Now they're up to 15 players with 10 newcomers joining the returners. Danny Hurley said Igor is an exciting young prospect who brings versatility at the forward spot. His skill set fits what we look for in wing players and raises the level of that position group. We think that he can compete to make an impact right away. And UConn has been doing very well in terms of their recruiting overall. They're going to be tough. So, and it wouldn't surprise me if they end up, even with 10 new players, they are sitting at number 1 in the Big East and in the top 10 in all of college basketball. So we're going to see from going there. Now we're going to move on to some St. John's. Now in men's basketball, the St. John's men's, they added another high-profile matchup for non-conference slate. They're going to be facing Alabama December 12th at the CM Newton Classic. They're going to make a return trip to take on the Crimson Tide in Birmingham at the Legacy Arena. We're going to wait for the time and all the broadcast information later. And then as far as the women, 2 former St. John's women forwards, Julian Archer and Raven Peoples, they signed professional international contracts. Another sign, Archer signed with Maccabeli Hafi BC in Israel, while Archer signed with the AO Sporting BC in HOTC, Greece. Now, Archer is a 2024 graduate. She will continue her professional career overseas, heading to compete in Israel's top professional league after representing Lebanon at the 2025 FIBA Women's Asia Cup Division A and competing for Bronny in the Italian Series A1 league during the 25-26 campaign. Pipos is a 23 graduate, and she's continuing her career overseas and returned to Greece after competing for both France and Greece during the 2025 season. So there you have it. And lastly, going to talk a little bit of Rutgers, starting with Rutgers football. Receiver KJ Duff is a member of the Walter Camp preseason All-American second team released Tuesday by the Walter Camp Foundation. Now, the Walter Camp Foundation is the nation's oldest college football All-American team dating back to 1889. And they selected just 4 receivers nationally in its preseason team. Duff previously claimed preseason All-American spots for not just Walter Camp, but Eighth Sports and Phil Steele. You'll also have Rutgers football. They're mourning the passing of former captain Jamil Merrill, a defensive lineman for the Scarlet Knights in 2009 to 2013. He was 36 years old. Now, he's a native of Delaware, Newark. He appeared in 34 games with 18 starts over 4 seasons, amassed 81 tackles, 8.5 sacks, 16 tackles for loss, a forced fumble, and 4 pass breakups. In his senior season, Merrill was voted team captain, along with his twin brother Jamal, a linebacker, Gary Nova, and wide receiver Brandon Coleman. Now, Merrill signed with the Bears as an undrafted free agent following his college career. He also played professionally in the Arena League. Merrill was an assistant coach at the Red Line and Christian Academy in Bear, Delaware. So I want to send my condolences to his family, to the Rutgers Nation. It's a tough loss. And in preseason honor, Phil Stills had 14 All-American for wide receiver KJ Duff and Antoine Raymond. First team All-Big Ten in Antoine Raymond. Second team for KJ Duff. Third team for linebacker Ty Morris. And 14 for offensive lineman Wabena Asamoah. And then Rutgers women's basketball. The basketball team is set to participate in the 4th FISU American game in Lima, Peru, July 18th to the 28th. They'll face an international competition as the tournament welcomes university athletes from 18 countries across North, Central, and South America, as well as the Caribbean, marking the largest country field in event history. Head coach Gary Rita said this trip is about much more than the games we play in Peru. It's an opportunity to accelerate our growth as a team heading into the 2026-27 season. We'll have the chance to compete against quality international competition, build chemistry, and continue establishing our identity and the standard we've been working toward as far as this summer. Those experiences are invaluable this time of year, and they'll help prepare us for the upcoming season. So he's been doing a great job. He's also offering, just as a side note, a lot of recruits, even in the top 5 in the country. Every top 5 has received an offer from Rutgers, and they've all said they are seriously considering Rutgers. So hopefully, it'll continue in terms of recruiting, and they'll build the program, and you'll see some wins. So that's it. That's all that I have for us today on Coach's Corner. And turning it back over to my brother, NYG. You're muted.
Oh shit. My bad. Good shit though, man. Good stuff. I'm always worried about the Liberty. You know what I'm saying? We we big on our New York basketball now, man. I'm just hoping the Knicks championship ain't we didn't have to sacrifice all our other teams, man, to get this chip, man, because it ain't looking good for the Liberty right now.
No, they just got to step up. We ain't sacrificing nothing.
Facts, man. But yeah, definitely interested to see what this season turns out for the Liberty. Of course, I am excited about the Nets as well. I'm excited about the Giants. Baseball,
Try.
right now, not looking good. But we do have the Yankees, who are technically still in it until they ain't. So there's that, man. But I'm really excited about basketball this year. I'm really excited about football this year, man. And we're going to give you a lot more coverage over here on the Aboriginal Sports Network, as well as Unpopular Opinion Sports with my bro, Coach Ed Sports. And hey, man, good shit tonight. Coach, any last words, man, before we head on up out of here?
Like I said, condolences to the Merrill family. You spoke about, the Liberty. Like I said, I gave it to you what I thought. And for those of you who want, go tap into the game. You'll hear, my frustration. You'll hear Kay's frustration with the game. It really wasn't, it's just frustrating with the Liberty. What I'm saying, Brianna's playing well, but if you've watched Liberty all year, they just don't seem the same. And you gave up a championship-winning coach in Sandy Brondello.
I didn't like that coaching change. I did not like that.
It just, here, and I said it before. I said, to me, if you were going to make that type of a change, you should have been going all out for Dawn Staley. Bring me a championship-winning coach, not a guy who's really he coached for the Bahamas and international play, but he's really a rookie head coach. Yeah. And you have a veteran team that's built for. Look, we saw what the Knicks did. You saw what the Knicks did. Yeah. And you made the right change. You went and got a coach who's been there, even if he lost in the championship. He's at least been there with several other teams. You brought in this rookie, and like I said, and I'm telling you, the amount of zone that he plays, it would not surprise me if they said he's playing, probably in the mid-30s% in terms of zone. I've never seen a pro team play that much.
Yeah, that's college. Yes. That's what you do in college. That's what you do in there was you got those 2-3 zones, 3-2 zones, 1-2-1 zone.
Now I appreciate when he goes 2-2-1 full court to slow down. Yeah. You slow down the opposition and they eat up time on the shot clock. That I'm fine with. But you still want to set it up, and the way he sets it up, he has his guards on the back end, but you have your wings cleaning up you put your guards up there because that's going to be a guard.
You need your big to prevent them from going back.
And a lot of his 2-3, he has his wings up front and he has his guards on the back. I'm like, I just can't with him. But last thing I want to say, yesterday, he got a technical foul, and it frustrated me because Sabrina had just drawn a foul, and I can understand he was calling for a foul, but now you just gave them points when Sabrina just got a foul and she was going to the line to shoot too. That's some of the things that is baffling. An experienced coach is not going to do that.
I ain't doing that.
Yeah. So that's why I say I'm very y'all know me. I'm very hard on coaches. I'm extremely hard on coaches. And when you got a young coach like this, you shouldn't be coaching a championship caliber program. I'm sorry. That's just me. So that's all I have to say, bro.
All right. But yeah, man, I agree with you, man. Coaching, they got to get right over there with the Liberty. I'm going to be keeping my eye on them. And y'all keep your eyes on Coach, Man Cave, and Leaf, man, with Courtside View and the W. I got that right?
Yeah, you got it right. That's the new name.
Definitely go tap in with the fellas over there, man. But that's all I got for you. I'm Unpopular Opinion Sports, like I said, with Coach Ed from Coach Ed Sports. We are the Dynamic Dude, bringing you Heart of the City. And until next time, see you on the next one.
Peace.